Live. We're live. Give us an intro, Eric. Give us a good intro.
What's going on? It's American Brain Rot. Denny, Eric, we're back at it. Episode 7. Lucky number 7. I think we're gonna go smooth from here to the very end. Denny, no edits. No edits.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
No editing at all. We'll see. That's a tall order. No edits.
I feel like by episode 10 we're gonna be pros.
10? That's in 3 weeks.
I'll give it 10. That's in 3 weeks. That's right.
Okay.
You gotta work hard, man. Like Goku and Vegeta. Gotta work hard.
That's
train with heavy gravitation holding you down. You gotta do this. But we do have an update. Today we're talking about we got Ukraine. We got a little bit of stupidity coming out of Charlie Kirk. What's new with that? Nothing too new about that, but still relevant to let people know and remind them that he's an idiot.
Yep.
We got stupidity coming from higher office in Tom Cotton today. He's a senator from Arkansas, talking about how weak he believes our President Biden to be in the conflict in Ukraine. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about Republican politicians, specifically in Tennessee, Alabama, Idaho, and Texas, kind of shitting on women's rights and what may very well lead to worse actions performed by these states, which could be a possible ban on birth control. They're already starting to talk about that.
Yep.
Finally, I think it's interesting to know what all these stories that we're about to tell you guys today, involving Tom Cotton, senators, pundits online, and just ad takes, overall attacks on women's civil rights. We ended all with Donald Trump, who is the face of the Republican Party. He is the face. You got to give it to him. He has a huge, strong hold on the party. I think if you're a Republican, you're probably going to vote Trump maybe 90% of the time, man. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even think. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, he is the Republican Party right now. And a lot of Republican, not all, but a lot of Republican politicians don't like that, and they're trying to change that. You can tell that they're trying to separate themselves from Trump by throwing him under the bus every now and then, or not really
saying the truth about the election.
Yeah, accidentally say the truth,
admitting that the election was not a hoax, not a cheating situation.
Right.
Trump is reminding us every single fucking day.
Yeah, and some of them don't side with people like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert, because they're of the Trump right. They're on the far right. Yeah. Pretty much the same base as Trump, and their Republican colleagues, once again, not all of them, some of them don't like them either, and try to separate themselves from them. So it's gonna be interesting the next couple of years when it comes to the Republican Party. Yeah,
well, I think Matt Gaetz will be one of those people that are aligned with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and of course he has an investigation under him for trafficking little girls. What a coincidence. With that being said, yes, we'll end the show talking about Trump and how he may be having the most PAC money, even more than the combination of both parties.
Yeah.
And their candidates. He has more PAC money than everyone else combined. All right, so Russia, Ukraine. Let's do a little bit of an update. Right now, Russia is requesting military aid and economic aid from China. China has given them financial aid. They've let them being part of their credit card systems and also and companies, and they also allowed Russia to use their banking systems as well, as Russia's banking systems is getting slammed by NATO and the rest of the world. Right now, Russia can't do shit because of those sanctions are hitting them pretty freaking hard. Ironically, Russia has been known to sell military equipment to China for the past couple of years.
Yep.
But now that Russia's going through this, what they really want is more advanced missiles, but more importantly, drones. Because Ukraine military, with the help of NATO forces supplying them these types of equipment, the drones are being used to take out Russian incoming tanks. They're just sniping them right off the road. So obviously, this is something that Putin has not taken account in this type of weaponry, and he's coming in with kind of an old school style tanks rolling in, World War II style, and that's not gonna work, bro. Like we got drones that could just run right into your tanks and blow them up. So he's getting real pissed off about that. That is something that he wants. Right now, China, I feel like they're kind of playing both sides. You know what I mean? Like, for example, they haven't really said that Russia was invading or called it a war. But at the same time, they're saying, oh, we feel for the people who are hurting in Ukraine. They're trying to send positive vibes towards that humanitarian crisis that's going on over there. So they're playing both sides, but they are denying that they are helping militarily equipping Russia right now. They're denying that, but at the same time, they're spewing Russian propaganda, such as saying that America is creating biological weapon facilities in Ukraine, and China's not for that, which is a complete lie, propaganda, something that Russia came out with. So,
right.
I don't know, man. What do you think, man? I feel like China is kind of staying back and seeing who wins, and whoever does take more of that weight, they'll just join their side and say, look, we never said we were for them in the first place.
Yeah. I think it's obvious that China is, they don't want to get too involved. They'll get involved as far as what might benefit them, I think. Whether that's aiding Russia or just not doing anything at all. So, they're going to do what's best for them. Even though they're not allies with the United States, I still do think that they know that their relationship with the United States is still very important when it comes to trade, when it comes to goods and services, when it comes to America outsourcing jobs to China. I would imagine that China understands the significance of that. And they obviously wouldn't want to cause any trouble with the United States. That's the last thing they would want. So
we have deep ties with them too. We have a lot of trading deals, with them and stuff like what you just said with the outsourcing of the companies. So there's definitely going to be some hurt shit going around. They fuck with us.
Yeah. So they're it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out when it comes to China and Russia. It's hard. It's hard to predict, what if China will really take any drastic measures in regards to the war that's going on right now. So I think that they'll sit back for as long as they can because it's not really their problem. And they know that, and we'll see. We'll see if they decide maybe it's better that we do get more involved now, depending on what happens next. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I just, speaking last to this, I know that China has already expressed how they're in favor of sovereignty and, the fact that Russia has a right per se to take over Ukraine because it's part of Russia. Ukraine's really Russia. And, they're only saying that because they want to set a precedent that they will be able to take Taiwan in the future.
Yeah.
With that very same thought process. So I think that's why they're kind of like, hey, we understand Russia, but they're not outwardly saying it because they got to kind of play both sides. They put themselves in a position where they can literally lean any way and literally watch where the wind blows and then just go with the wind. You know what I mean? So pretty smart politically in terms of the world politically, pretty smart of them to do that. But if you have someone like, me or you who recognizes that and sees what they're doing, I mean, this is why you put the smartest people, on the front seat. You know what I mean? This is why you elect people to represent you. You're thinking that they're seeing the same things you're seeing. And I feel like Biden right now is doing an amazing job in terms of foreign policy. I think he's shit when it comes to domestic policy. But in terms of what he's doing with foreign policy regarding Ukraine, I wouldn't say foreign policy overall, but let me reiterate. I mean, foreign policy regarding this Ukraine-Russia conflict. I think he's doing everything he possibly could do that will benefit the existence of the human fucking race, because we have, leading into our next story, if you want to put up that video, Tom Cotton, this is what we have to deal with, people, in America. This is who you're electing. We'll do. You got a U.S. Senator named Tom Cotton. He is from Arkansas, and look how he feels about Biden's actions in this conflict. Let's see what he says.
Let me read again from your piece. At every step, Joe Biden has allowed America's response to be dictated from Moscow out of a fanciful fear of provocation. The wages of Biden's weakness are Russian tanks rolling through Eastern Europe. If we fail to support Ukraine, the stakes in the flames of war will rise. Let's see what happens on that. However, we will see also on display at this time tomorrow, Zelensky make a presentation to members of Congress. I don't think you can underscore enough the potential impact that an address like this might have on members of not just, the Republican Party, but his party and the Democrats themselves. I mean, you gauged the reaction in London from a week ago when the members of Parliament gave him a standing ovation. This could be quite a moment as America watches to hear his message, Senator.
Yeah, Bill, we had a conversation via teleconference last weekend with President Zelensky, and some of the actions he asked Congress at the time, we got very promptly, like, for instance, Visa and MasterCard pulling out of Russia. But he also asked last Saturday, 10 days ago, for the transfer of those MiGs as well. Unfortunately, we still haven't got them. I suspect tomorrow, when he provides a virtual address to a joint session of Congress, he'll also lay out more requests. And to the greatest extent that the United States and NATO can, we should grant him those requests. He's the one that's running around from hiding spot to hiding spot inside of Kyiv as they're getting shelled, as you showed earlier, bravely leading his people. If he says that he needs something and we can provide it to him, then that's what we should do.
All right, that's what we should do. Whatever Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, wants from the United States, we should just go on ahead and do it. I mean, he's fighting over there. He's defending his country. All admirable things. But what he wants from us are MiG-29 air fighting jets. And he wants us to set a no-fly zone over Ukraine. This guy, Tom Cotton, is definitely in favor of that. But what the fuck happens if America initiates a no-fly zone over Ukraine? Well, I mean, do you motherfuckers know exactly what that means? I mean, Denny, I know you know what it means. And so what a no-fly zone means is American planes and NATO planes are going to be in the skies on top of Ukraine. And what's going to happen is our planes are going to run into Russian planes. And if we're going to shoot them fucking motherfuckers down, and they're going to shoot us. And once that begins, say hello to World War III. So Biden knows this. He understands this. And Biden is saying no to a no-fly zone. We can't help you in that way. So it doesn't matter if Zelensky's asking for this. Of course he's going to ask for these things. His country is being bombarded with missiles on an everyday basis from the skies. He wants to stop that. But he needs to understand that if we help them in that, it's just going to escalate things. And nothing is going to stop nuclear war once it starts. Once one country fires that first nuke, here comes the second, third, fourth, fifth, and all of a sudden our skies are no longer blue. There's some weird orangey color. And, that's why I'm saying Biden's foreign policy efforts in Ukraine are exactly what we need. He's destroying them right now in Russia. Russia has their backs to the wall when it comes to time. They can obviously take over Ukraine, but do they have the time to do it? That's the question. What are you thinking?
Yeah. The no-fly zone, a lot of liberals who pretty much just look at politics as another form of entertainment are trying to push for a no-fly zone. It's everywhere. It's all over social media. A lot of them are trying to push for a no-fly zone without understanding what the fuck a no-fly zone is. It's not some sort of barrier or force field around Ukraine like it's fucking Wakanda or something. You literally have to enforce it. If you're going to set the no-fly zone, you have to enforce it. And enforcing it means if Russia decides to come in the zone that is now a no-fly zone, you have to deal with it. You have to shoot down whatever it is that is coming in to the no-fly zone. If we shoot down a Russian aircraft coming into the no-fly zone, we have now just declared war with Russia. So liberals who just look at this as another sport, please understand that you're advocating for World War III. You need to understand that. A no-fly zone is not good at all.
And of course, it's obviously not only liberals, it's conservatives, it's conservative pundits online that are definitely for this. Tom Cotton himself is a Republican. He's definitely a warmonger. Obviously there are most politicians in the Democratic, I don't know if you misspoke when you said liberals. Most Democratic politicians understand that a no-fly zone is not a good idea.
No, not
including the president of the United States.
Yeah, I didn't mean politicians. I meant liberals. I meant voters. I meant regular people. Most of the politicians are against it, which they should be. Most of the Democratic politicians are against it. Republican politicians, of course, they want it. Of course. They want war. This is what they do. This is how they make their money, through war. They want more war as much as possible. But the reason why I point out liberals is because for the most part, I understand that people on the left, liberals or otherwise, believe that they're advocating for the right thing in terms of this war, which is help Ukraine. And I get that. We want to help Ukraine as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the no-fly zone in particular, that is one method of helping that we can't do, that we shouldn't ever do. Especially when the adversary is Russia. If it was somebody else, I don't know, maybe someone else who doesn't have nukes. But that's not the case here. Russia has all the nukes. They have so many nukes. And starting war with them is not going to be a good idea. So,
do we really trust Putin to logically understand that shooting a nuke will not help him at all? Do we trust his sanity? When we're talking about a man who's authoritarian in nature, his country, the people are, they're held down by this guy. You know what I mean? And look what he's doing in Ukraine. He's attacking civilians. He doesn't really give a fuck about where his missiles are landing. He doesn't put any much thought. He wants to kill Zelensky or capture Zelensky and put them under his control as soon as possible. And so he's throwing everything he got that's short of a nuke. With that being said, I do have something that I don't think a lot of progressive news or media in general is talking about right now. Sometimes when I think about these Republican politicians, not the pundits. The pundits are all grifters. They're just trying to get you to watch them because they want to let you know how important the gun industry is, or Black Lives Matter and how they're bad. Those are all grifters. So I'm talking about the Charlie Kirks and the Candace Owens. But the Republican politicians, I feel like they are talking and pushing a no-fly zone, and because they know that Biden's not going to do it. So them going hard and talking about it makes them seem tougher without it actually fucking happening. Yeah. You understand? So in my very own heart and hearts, I don't think that Tom Cotton would fucking send the fucking planes to, I mean, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe he would, if he was president, send the planes to Ukraine. But a small part of me thinks that he wouldn't fucking do it.
Yeah.
And he'll just really talk about how hard the sanctions are hitting Russia. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, they know that Biden ain't going to do that. So, yeah, if I knew that nothing was going to happen, you know how people are online, on Xbox Live when they talking shit to someone that they know they're never going to meet. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, fuck you, I'll fuck you up, you piece of shit. They'll say the racist shit ever because they're talking through a microphone, bro. Right. But when you hit with it in the real world, you're gonna do what you can do, just like what Biden did, because it's absolutely insane to go to war between one superpower and another, United States and Russia, when both of those countries have nukes. It means annihilation. It means if you don't got a bunker, you're probably gonna die. It means that when the nuke hits and it didn't hit you directly, the air is still fucked up to breathe. You understand? We don't need this shit. And these guys are pushing this type of propaganda just to seem more tough. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mostly agree. I think that if they were the ones in control, that they probably wouldn't implement the no-fly zone because they know what it means. And
they just know it means that. Like,
yeah, and they still might say that they want it. They'll probably still say that they want to do it, but that they can't because the Democrats are not letting them. That's
right.
That's very likely what would happen if they were still in control. So yeah, I think.
But even that would be crazy though, right? Because even if they did do that and they're just bluffing, that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to fucking bluff with nukes, bro. You're gonna scare the other country, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna make them shoot the fucking nuke first. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is ridiculous. So it's interesting. I mean, that's a Republican politician up there not giving a fuck about nukes possibly landing on your fucking doorstep. And then we got a piece of shit pundit named Charlie Kirk, and he has his own take on Ukraine. I think you're going to laugh on this one, bro. I don't know why this is... Hey, if you're a Republican watching this show, just know this. This is the top of the heap for you guys.
This is your boy.
This guy. I mean, he's not the top. He's not. He's like the top 5. He's not number 1 though. I mean, I don't know if it's Ben Shapiro or it used to be that radio host that recently passed. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about.
Rush Limbaugh.
Fuck that guy. Rush Limbaugh was number 1 for you guys, but he's out. Now you got number 1 in my opinion online. I would say Ben Shapiro. Right. We're not gonna count Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity in there because they're in mainstream media. But I'm talking about online. This is one of your boys. This is the top mindset of you guys. Go ahead.
I'm watching video after video of Ukrainian citizens get in line and try to figure out what a firearm is. Ukrainian citizens. I'm laughing because they really have no idea how to handle a firearm. It really makes you appreciate the wisdom of the founding fathers. And to take a step backwards and to say, wait a second, if Ukraine had a robust Second Amendment, would Putin invade? This is a very legitimate question.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard O'Jelly.
If everyone in Ukraine had the Second Amendment embedded in their lives a little bit earlier, they would know how to handle a firearm. And you know what? I'm even going to go as far to say as I don't think Russia would invade, man. I mean, they all got guns in their hands, dude.
Yeah, sure. They definitely wouldn't have invaded. He's a clown, dude. He's playing the hits for his followers, for his fan base, you know. And Second Amendment is one of the hits. It's one of the buzzwords for them. Anything Second Amendment. Second Amendment, print it out, put it on a T-shirt. They're all about it.
Donate.
Yeah. So, you know, what he's trying to do is he's trying to get his base to think that any other country that isn't like America, that doesn't have a Second Amendment like America, is completely inferior, is incapable of shooting a gun, is incapable of defending themselves, is incapable of doing anything that America can do because we have the Second Amendment and they don't. It's completely fucking stupid. It's so
It's
stupid.
the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You know, you give a machine gun or what are you saying, like a assault rifle to any citizen with no training. You act as though they're not going to figure out how to reload the weapon, and if the enemy's in front of them, you act as though they're not going to aim and fucking shoot. I mean, will they shoot them with the first bullet? No, but they'll shoot them with the other 29. You know what I mean? Or however the fucking cartridge holds so many bullets. My point is, a Second Amendment being there or not, you put a gun in someone's hands, they're going to know what to do with a gun. In my opinion, that's one. And two, your fucking guns are not going to help you against missiles and tanks and fucking high level grade drone strikes or things of that nature, bro. You understand? Like, this guy's a fucking idiot, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I hate when the people in the Second Amendment, they go, oh, you need the Second Amendment in case the government, you know, they do tyranny on us. Bro, you're not going to defeat the United States Army. Like, the United States Army, you're not going to defeat them, bro. They also got those guns, and they got the training, and they got the tanks. And you're going to get fucked up, you're going to be holed up on the second floor window of your apartment or your fucking house. And you're going to get bombed by a grenade launcher. Easy, get him out of there. Get that guy out of... That guy's gone.
Yeah.
Man, look, then they go into your house, and they go, wow, this guy had a lot of guns. Let's grab this guns. Come on, guys, we're going to...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not about having, you know, expert training or military readiness. This is, you're just defending yourself. You're defending yourself, and you're defending your home. So yeah, of course you're gonna, you know, use a gun to do that, even if you don't know how to use the gun or you've never shot a gun before. This is not about, you know, becoming a fucking a Navy SEAL or anything like that. You're just a regular person defending your home. But also on what you just mentioned, there's an old debate between David Pakman and Ben Shapiro. It's pretty old, where they're debating that very thing. And David Pakman asks him, you know, like, why is it important? Why is the right to bear arms to you so important? And he pretty much says what you said. Oh, to go up against, to defend ourselves against our government or our military in case they you know, turn against us. And David Pakman said, okay, so does the Second Amendment also include tanks? And he's like, no. So how are we gonna fight a tank with a gun? And Ben Shapiro didn't even know what to say next.
Exploded. By the way, Republican people who may be watching this, that's your number one guy. That's Ben Shapiro. That's the number one guy. This guy's like number fucking 4 right now. You know what I mean? Number 3, number 4. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I think he talks a little bit more. What we do with the second clip of Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
Would Putin have invaded Ukraine if Ukraine had widespread gun ownership and a skilled citizenry that knew how to use those guns? If the 45 million people of Ukraine were able to own weapons and had a gun culture similar to America, would Putin feel emboldened to invade that country?
Charlie Kirk is one of many who have only one.
We're gonna stop right there.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously Charlie Kirk goes on and just elaborates on his stupidity. Obviously, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But in reality, to what Denny said, it's really what Denny said, right? I mean, he's a grifter. He's just trying to make money for people who are gun enthusiasts and lean more towards the right. And he's obviously he gets paid a large sums of money from the NRA in order to push their propaganda and promote guns. So that's who Kirk is. Charlie Kirk. That's who he is.
Yeah, a lot of these right-wing grifters are funded through right-wing billionaire think tanks, or just right-wing billionaires in general. Ben Shapiro is. I believe Charlie Kirk is.
Yeah.
A lot of them are.
Candace Owens as
Candace
well.
Owens, oh yeah.
She's that means their opinions are not their own. Their opinions are literally bought. Their opinions are the opinions of those who own the very things they're trying to push. So, just wake the fuck up, man. Stop having your brain so goddamn rotten.
There it is.
On to the next goddamn fucking story, man. We got Republican politicians in specifically the states of Texas, Tennessee, Idaho, and Alabama. I have a clip that was actually played by the Majority Report of Marsha Blackburn. Yes, Marsha Blackburn, who's also a senator, a Republican senator. And she is saying that the Griswold versus Connecticut Supreme Court Justice decision must be overturned. Let's look at her say that. And then I'm going to explain a little bit to you guys of what that justice decision was. Let's check it out.
Before I play this really quickly, now that this is on the screen, yesterday afternoon, I went to a live showing of the Majority Report. It was amazing. I loved it so much. I recommend, a lot of our news comes from the Majority Report, TYT, Kyle Kalinske, a lot of our favorites. I recommend everybody check them all out. This is my personal favorite show. So anybody who's interested in more news, check out the Majority Report. They're live every weekday. They're live. There we go. That's my.
Oh snap! Yeah,
awesome.
I was supposed to go with him. I went to a wedding that day. This was yesterday. I had an amazing time at the wedding, but I definitely would love to go and watch Sam Cedar live with you, Denny. Man, that should be a pretty fun time. Did you take any pictures or anything like that, or?
Yeah, I have a picture with Sam Cedar and his co-host Emma, who you're going to see here now. They were awesome. Everybody was awesome. All the guests were great. They actually, one of their guests was a New York State Senator, Gustavo Rivera. I actually have the tab here open. That's him.
Oh, okay.
He was there. He's amazing. He's an awesome, awesome politician, progressive, Medicare for all, you name it, Green New Deal, all of that. He is right now leading a fight to pass a bill in New York State for single-payer healthcare in New York. So that would be insane. That would be ridiculous for that to pass. I hope he's successful in that. But that's amazing to have someone like this in the Bronx trying to fight for single-payer healthcare in New York State. That will only spread if that happens. You know what I mean? If New York State,
absolutely, especially if it works. Yeah.
Yeah. If New York State passes it, that's going to spread, especially in the more democratic states in the country. So definitely check him out. Check out the Majority Report. Like I told you earlier over the phone, if there's any vacant seat now in New York for anything, governor, Senate, the House, I'm thinking of this guy right away. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I want him to fill whatever seat that is for sure.
Well, I don't know much about him because he's from the New York State Senate. And so usually when I view my politics, I go a little bit more federal or, but, he seems like a strong progressive. Any politician who is for single payer and to help get us out of this horrible healthcare system is a progressive in my eyes, whether they have an R or a D next to their name. So I mean, that's amazing. And you know what? You mentioning him actually ties into this next senator. You got a state senator trying to get single payer healthcare in Gustavo Rivera, and we got an actual.
Oh, your audio went.
I'm sorry. An actual. Yeah, my thumb hit the button. An actual senator of the United States, in Marsha Blackburn, and she's advocating for the removal of Griswold v. Connecticut. Let's check that out.
Weeks we've been talking about these laws that are being passed, Texas, Tennessee, Idaho, and maybe other places at this point, where they're empowering vigilantes essentially through the civil courts to sue people who get abortions and people who aid in that abortion. This is all going to withstand Supreme Court scrutiny, and it more or less has in the context of Texas. And then the question is, what are they going to come for next? They may or may not fully repeal Roe v. Wade. They are going to effectively make it impossible to get an abortion in anywhere from 10 to 20, maybe 20, 22 states in this country. They are going to maybe successfully make it practically impossible for most women to get an abortion if you are a citizen of that state or a resident of that state. You can be sued. You cannot leave the state to go get an abortion. What are they going to come for next? If you think this is about abortion as opposed to controlling women's sexuality, I don't know how else
and freedom and self-determination.
And freedom and self-determination.
Life
and
outside of the home that's not at the behest of a man.
And if this is not ultimately about just maintaining the patriarchy and the essentially the Christian fundamentalist vision of what a family and a home should be, you are greatly mistaken. And here is Marsha Blackburn. And we said this the other day.
Yeah, this has been what you said. I mean, they're going to come for birth control next. And here she is talking about Griswold v. Connecticut, which was a Supreme Court decision that basically allowed, was it married couples to get contraceptives at that time, but then it was expanded.
Yep.
So wide acceptance of contraceptives.
Here is Marsha Blackburn. This is where it starts. She's not some, backbencher in a state legislature in Idaho.
She's a senator.
She's a senator.
Is the senator Idaho?
Who can't say how or if she will apply the Constitution in her rulings is up for a seat on the Supreme Court. Over the past few weeks, I've heard a lot of liberal activists argue that this shouldn't matter. When they look at the Supreme Court, all they see is a rubber stamp for their cultural agenda. The idea of biased policymaker justice appeals to them because they prioritize results over reasoning. After all, choosing heroes and villains is much easier when all you care about is getting the result you want. The chaos that ensues when the court abandons the Constitution and kicks at moving goalposts doesn't really matter to them, but it should. Constitutionally unsound rulings like Griswold versus Connecticut.
Yo, Denny, she's basically bitching about losing. She's saying, you guys are biased over one thing, and you keep moving the ballpost or whatever the hell she said. Yeah, that means we're winning. So we're suggesting something biasly, and you're suggesting something biasly, and you're losing. So the goalpost keeps moving forward, and you're mad at that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's basically what the fuck she's saying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? She's a sore loser, and she wants it to go back the other way, but that'll be okay, right? We move the goalposts her way, 100% fine.
Right. She's trying to make it seem like Democratic politicians are just going rogue and trying to pass policies that they think should be passed, when in reality this is happening democratically. The majority of people in the country want these policies to pass. What she's trying to do is she's trying to create a narrative where she's essentially saying what Republican voters want is what the majority of the country wants. So she's completely excluding any other voter, any other person in the country except for Republicans, and saying this is what we want and this is what should be in place. What the Democrats are doing is awful. They're just acting on their own and they're doing crazy things on their own.
Right. They're just passing these legislations on their own. It's not getting voted on. We're not losing. They're just doing it. And that creates a dangerous narrative. You understand? It makes people, have fear that their country's being taken over undemocratically. I mean, don't underestimate the stupidity of people. Don't underestimate how fucking rotten people's brains are, because tribalism really is a thing in politics, right? I always say this example. I think I said this in episode 1. The good old Mets Yankees versus Red Sox example. The Red Sox pitcher throws a fucking ball, but to every Red Sox fan, that was a fucking strike. And it doesn't matter if it was really a ball, and obviously a ball. It was a strike to them because they want their team to win. It's the same shit in American politics. Republican voters vote Republican because they just want Republicans to win, even if they're voting against their own fucking interests. Let's look at some of the cases that this bitch wants to fucking take out and reverse. She actually names 3, but we'll talk about only one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kelo versus City of New London and NFIB versus Sebelius confused Tennesseans and left Congress wondering who gave the court permission to bypass our system of checks and balances. It is the 11th hour, and where Judge Jackson stands on the Constitution remains a secret. Will she apply its principles as written, or does she wrongly believe that the Constitution is a so-called living document?
Okay, let's. We don't need to hear any more from here, but it's just fascinating that she's bringing up Griswold. The other 2 that she brought up, NFIB versus Sebelius, was essentially the Obamacare case.
Yeah, what was the middle one that she said?
The second one she said was Kelo versus New London. And this was a case where there was the city of New London was involved in a taking of property I think it was for Pfizer. To build some type of like a factory or something there, with the idea that they would be getting tax revenue from Pfizer, and so that this was a legitimate taking. I happen to agree that case, I don't feel comfortable so much with that case. I don't know that tax revenue in that instance it justifies the taking of property, because it's inevitably going to be also poor people's property. I knew the lawyer. I went to college with, I think, one of the lawyers involved in that case. But the bottom line is, and then of course Griswold. When was the last time you heard anybody talk about Griswold? And we should say, she mentioned 2 cases that took place in the last 20 years, and then one that doesn't that is
65.
Yeah, I think Griswold was even before then.
Yeah, no,
65.
Yeah.
Okay, so 60 years.
It was like the last time I really heard about.
So you can pause it
in
right
any
here,
way.
Denny. If you go to the other link I sent you about Griswold v. Connecticut. So right here, this is what they were talking about. This Supreme Court decision, the case was brought up in 1879. This is old. Okay. And at the time, the United States banned anything that had to do with abortions. Like, women weren't allowed to get any medications, medicines, or instruments used to get an abortion or some kind of contraceptive. With that being said, this case was particularly about if married couples can do this.
No audio.
Listen. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. So this case deals with married couples, and it was the first case of its kind. And it dealt with the fact that should a married couple be allowed to use contraceptives? And this was won 7-2 in favor of the married couples being allowed to do this, but it was essentially the first case that moved towards other cases that eventually led to Roe v. Wade, which of course, the pavement of women being able to do abortions at their own will.
Right.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, she wants to get rid of married couples being allowed to do this. See, so she's trying to sneak this case in as a bad thing. But what? Is it so that eventually with the removal of this case, then comes the removal of Roe v. Wade from the back? You know what I mean? They're coming from the past on. And if they can get rid of all these things, women may not only not be able to get abortions and will be able to get sued if they do an abortion, and the abortion place gets sued, and anybody who's aiding in the abortion gets sued, like a friend, a relative, or something who takes them to the abortion place. This is already horrible for
even
women.
if the woman got raped. Even if the women got
raped in most of these states. I'm not sure if that's the case for all of the states that I named, but in most of the states that are implementing these types of legislation, even if the woman got raped. You know what pisses me off most about that is I got a little niece. Denny has a sister. I have friends. Fuck this. Women in general, bro. You can't. It's not right to take away a woman's dignity and a woman's right to choose how she may live her life and do what she wants with her body. This is just the beginning. Right now, all those other things that I said, that's happening now. What they're trying to do is go further and ban birth control. I mean, what the fuck? It's like they're trying to keep us in poverty with all these fucking kids. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
these people they're disgusting. These are disgusting people. Anybody who advocates for what they're advocating for, you're disgusting too. Because this, whatever the reason is, whether it's religion, the Bible, I don't give a fuck. None of that is real life. None of that matters at all when it comes to reality and what humanity means and what it means to allow someone to have a choice on how they live their life. So, obviously these are gross, barbaric policies that they want to implement because it's all about control. That's it. It's all about control. Yeah. Controlling women, controlling anybody who they deem is needs to be controlled for whatever reason. These people are not fighting for progress. These people are fighting for regression. They're advocating for people getting hurt, for people getting killed. When it comes to passing these disgusting bills.
Which is a contradiction because they're acting like they care about human life, but then they're for absolute war in countries like Yemen, Somalia, where they're killing kids. Yeah, already reports coming out where kids are getting bombed. So like you're just doing this. You're grifting towards the religious right to vote for you and maintain that vote. I mean, I bet you the politicians that are screaming this the loudest have the most biggest religious voter turnouts within those particular states.
Right.
You know what I mean? In my opinion. So it's just completely dangerous. I hope that even Republican voters see that, damn, man, even if the woman gets raped, she can't get an abortion. Like, I think more of the younger Republican males and females in this country are not going to go for this. You know what I mean? These are already elected officials passing these legislations through state law.
Yeah.
But as soon as their elections come up, I don't think that they're necessary. I hope that the Republican voters see this and get them the fuck out, bro. In any case, even if they don't, I hope that the Democrats win the generals and start removing some of these guys off seats because it's spreading like wildfire within the southern states of this country and states that lean more red states.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're seeing that Texas did it, and so they do it and they pass it with like behind doors in Alabama and Idaho. You know what I mean? So with that being said, as scary as that may sound, it all ties into the last part of the story that we got for you guys. And this is a big one. This shocked the fuck out of me. I heard this from the Secular Talk radio show, the Kyle Kalinske show.
YouTube show.
YouTube show. One of my favorite shows. Denny likes Sam Cedar, and he likes Hassan Piker.
I like Kyle also. I just watch the other guys a little more.
Oh no! Listen, I like the guys. I watch Sam Cedar too, and Hassan a lot too. I also enjoy Vosh, but my main progressive news outlets that I really like is Secular Talk and TYT. I think that's the way to go to get your information. Aside from American Brain Rot, that should be your number one choice. It's my number one choice.
Should be number one.
Should be number one. Let's be serious here.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm showing you a close number 3. Secular Talk. But here he's going to talk about Trump and just how much Trump has in PAC money compared to everyone else. Let's go.
A political comeback. Look, there are warning signs that he'll self-destruct. Can't stop talking about rigged election. But there are some indicators that he's more alive and ready than ever before. So take a look at this here from Ken Vogel. Cash on hand. This is as of February 28th. Trump, $110.4 million. DNC, $52.9 million. RNC, $45.5 million. So let me explain what that means. Trump's Save America PAC, this is PAC money we're talking about here. Trump's Save America PAC has more money on hand than Democrats and Republicans combined.
Oh my God.
That is stunning. This guy has a total and complete lockdown on him.
And try to go back to the to that list so we can see those numbers again. Bro, Denny, son, this is crazy, bro. 110.4 million. And the DNC only has barely half of that, bro. Let me tell you something. That's huge. Donald Trump is absolutely amazing at raising money for himself, and I'm pretty sure the reason why it's so high is because he's got all the donors the richest donors in America. Absolutely, that's most of the chunk. But I think maybe 25 to 30% is just straight donations from his base. And it's so much donations that he's passing a threshold that's surpassing both parties at the same exact time. I mean, that's the thing. The Republican Party is literally split right now. You're either pro-Trump or you're not.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to see in the Republican primaries. We're going to see a strong, financially backed Donald Trump and the most financially backed Republican challenger in the primaries that they can possibly be. And if there's more than one, then that money gets split, bro. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know, Donald Trump, with this amount of money, he has the most absolute chance to win and become the Republican candidate for the president of the United States once again because of this money. However, man, I don't know, man. The money's good, but do you remember when that rich billionaire from New York ran for president? What was his name?
Michael Bloomberg?
The corrupt one? Yes, he's extremely rich. He's a billionaire. Yes. And my point of mentioning him is Michael Bloomberg enters the race late with all his money. He pays millions of dollars on his race, completely surpassing most of the candidates in one swoop. And his fucking presidency flops. Why? He's a boring talker. He wasn't in favor for anything. He looked like a complete idiot when it came to debating. My point is this. Donald Trump, debater, but lately, if you listen to what he's talking about, he only talks about how he was cheated. He doesn't accept, like a man, that he lost.
He keeps playing the
presidential. Oh yeah, he keeps going on with the same old talking points, and eventually, can you imagine if in the primaries, if he talks and he literally mentions that every debate, bro? everybody's going to be tired of this motherfucker, bro. So will the money help him? Yes, it will. Mm-hmm. Does it mean that he wins the election automatically? No, not a chance.
No.
What are you thinking about?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's obviously not a guarantee that he'll win, but goddamn, it helps. It helps a lot having all of this money, being able to campaign on that money, advertise on that money, run commercials on that money. You name it. They can pretty much use that money for anything, including putting it in their own pockets. But yeah, I mean that is insane that he has more money than the DNC and the RNC combined. But like you said, if he's gonna run again, and he's gonna campaign and debate on the same things again, like he did last time and like he did when he was president, who knows if it's gonna work again? Who knows? I mean, maybe it will. I do believe that Republican voters are stupid enough to continue to fall for it and enjoy it and eat it all up. So maybe it does work, but I can't imagine that going on stage or going in front of a podium and continuing with drain the swamp and the Democrats are corrupt and they stole the election and like, is that shit still gonna work again and again and again? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I think personally, I think that people who saw the January 6th attack and they seen what happens. I know that the right wing pundits like Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, they go online and they tell the millions of fans that the people who attacked January 6th were actually not Trump supporters. They had the Trump flags, they had the Trump hats on, they were screaming "Hangman Pence."
Antifa.
There's even some video, yeah. But according to Charlie Kirk, it was Antifa. It was Black Lives Matter. It was actually Bernie Sanders supporters. It was everybody. It was everybody but the Trump supporters. So my point is this: I think some Republican voters, or at least the level-minded, the level-headed ones, I think they see that and they go, "Nah, that was Trump supporters." You know what I mean? And the real brainwashed motherfuckers are like, Antifa. Mm-hmm. But, bro, I think that January 6th incident is going to hurt Donald Trump. I mean, he's going to defend it, but what is he going to say? Oh, it wasn't me. It was Antifa. Shut the fuck up. Now you're lying to the American people on stage, on national TV. I mean, that means everybody that already didn't vote for you before is definitely not going to vote for you. Like, they're not going to change. They're not going to get any turnaround votes. Okay? And then you got people who are just sick and tired of you saying it over and over again. They're not going to vote for you because you just sound like a little bitch, bro.
Yeah.
Although that's more unlikely. And then you got those other voters who see right through you that it's not Antifa that attacked January 6th. They're not going to vote for you. So I think if the more he talks about this, it's going to hurt his chances. And me and you, we never talk about Donald Trump, bro. This is episode 7. This is the first episode we really mentioned him like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's getting to the point where him having more money than both parties combined, it just really does show just how divided the country really is. And because I know a big chunk of that is just donations to straight him. And you know what? That's a dangerous number regardless, because he's going to, what it really means is that Trump having 110 million, just add that 45 million to that 110. And that's the money that's going to be spread to candidates that are only pro-Trump.
Yeah.
All around this country. You understand? So Donald Trump, the thing is, Donald Trump is so greedy. He's not gonna give money to. He's not gonna give too much of his money to Republican candidates who are even saying, it's Trump or die. You know what I mean? He's gonna keep most of that and give chump change to them, and just remain rich, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, he is Donald Trump, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the money. Once again, the money is it's very significant. It's not everything, but it's very significant.
Midterms wise.
Yeah, but we'll see in terms of a campaign if there's anybody who's going to oppose him. If Ron DeSantis is going to oppose him, I think Ron DeSantis is trying his best to campaign for president. especially with a lot of his rhetoric and antics of late. And I think this time around it might be a little bit easier to oppose Trump because you now have a little bit of material to go against him. Trump is vaccinated. You can hit him with that. Or the majority of that base is unvaccinated and they hate the vaccine. So, if Ron DeSantis can nail him on that, well, you're vaccinated. Why'd you get vaccinated? You're no better than a Democrat or whatever, blah, blah, blah. That might work. Things like that might work. So we'll see. We'll see if the money is everything or if it's nothing.
I personally think Ron DeSantis is going to make a deal with Donald Trump and try to be his VP with Donald Trump stepping down and DeSantis being the next nominee for the President of the United States as leading VP to Donald Trump. I mean, that's Rob DeSantis' best chance to become president of the United States. I think once he goes against Donald Trump, if he beats Donald Trump in a primary, it's so unlikely because of the money that Donald Trump has. But even if he goes against Donald Trump and wins, I mean, I just don't see it happening, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, Donald Trump is gonna talk right back. He's gonna destroy him. As soon as he goes against him, Donald Trump's gonna attack him immediately. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's interesting. We'll try to stay away from Trump a little bit, but at the end of the day, he's saying more and more dumb things. And eventually, well, I don't give a fuck. I'll talk about Donald Trump whatever the fuck I want, to be honest with you. But this is one of those stories that you just can't ignore.
Yeah. I mean, anything involving Trump that's like, relevant or current, any kind of current event or anything like that. Obviously, I think it's important that we cover. I think I think that we just made it a point when we started the podcast to not, over focus on Trump like a lot of people end up doing because he draws in views for everybody, whether right wing or left wing. He draws in a ton of views. You know what I mean? So, we obviously didn't want to build our platform off of just talking shit about Trump because that's one, that's too easy, and two, it's not very
informative. It really
is
too easy. It really is too easy, bro.
Yeah, and it's not. We're not providing the service that we want to provide to everybody watching by just shitting on Trump all day long. So, but yeah, of course, stuff like this is incredibly important.
Right. Well, no, I'm glad you approve, brother. I worked hard trying to find these videos.
Did you want to continue this video?
No, because I think Kyle Kalinske does his take.
Okay.
People can
check out
see
Kyle
the video
Kalinske
on their own if they want. Yeah, definitely check out Kyle Kalinske. Check out Sam, the Majority Report with Sam Cedar. Emma Vigeland is an amazing host with him. She's very, very intelligent. So is the combination of Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian on the TYT network. So catch those guys all day, every day. And yeah, man, next week, I think we should start shutting out some progressives that just to throw it out there. Maybe one or two of them I would like to do.
Yeah, I mean, we got midterms coming up, so I think we probably got to jump on that soon. See if we could shout out some progressives who are running to get them on people's radar, because that's really important. You never know wherever you live right now, there could be somebody very progressive running in your district and you don't even know about it, which is normal. It's fine, but maybe we can shed a little light on some really awesome politicians that are running.
Absolutely, man. As me and Denny explained before in the middle of this video, think about the politicians that we are electing into office, how some prevent nuclear war and some advocate for it. I mean, it starts from the bottom up. So pay attention to those local elections, and maybe you will take part in electing people who will make the best decisions in the most dire circumstances in the current world.
Or maybe you might just run yourself. Maybe you'll run and try to
maybe you'll be that person.
Try to become a progressive politician. So and we'll support you.
I'll absolutely support you. And, I would do it myself, but they would destroy me because the things that will come out of my mouth, oh, man. Maybe I'll be elected to president of the United States, just like Donald Trump, and just straight up shoot it from the hip.
Just saying stupid shit, talking shit, and that's it.
Just fucking cursing at everybody in the primaries, like, stuff, you're fucking corrupt, I don't even know you're corrupt, but you look so fucking stupid. You might as well be corrupt.
That could work.
Fucking Americans. That shit would work, right? I could just roast all my opponents and just fucking win the election because I'm good at fucking jokes.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, I've said before, like, the Democrats needed somebody like Trump, not a complete moron, but somebody who is just gonna talk shit and
talk like a normal person.
Right. Don't talk like a politician.
Trump does. I'll give it to Trump, man. He talks like a normal ass person, bro.
Right.
It's borderline, kind of retarded, but at the end of the day, when talking politics, if you're not a well-fashioned, tuned politician, look at me and you. Sometimes we're talking on this podcast about politics, and we're always talking about politics. But I'm saying now, as we explain it, sometimes we completely mess up, right? Like we're just saying like something that I'll mess up names. I'll mess up. He does that all the time, and he turns his negatives into a positive. He's really good at that. But that being said, what a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. And hopefully, complete idiot. Hopefully he never makes it as president of the United States again. And we're here to give you logical reasons as to why that should be. All right. So American Brain Rot, episode 7 down in the books. Congratulations, Denny. We did it again. Lucky number 7.
Did it again.
What are you thinking about?
Very good episode. No editing. Yeah. Did it again. Back to back.
I don't think we're editing again, bro. I think we're going straight through. Right in there, guys. And I won't lie, man. I definitely hit my blunt maybe 2 hours before this recording because I thought to myself, there's no way it's gonna affect me in the show. Come on. I can handle it. I wrote things down.
You were right.
And it really helps to write things down. But I'll never smoke during the show again. I know last week or 2 weeks ago I got a little cocky, but
that's all right. It was the end of the show. It's all right.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go. You still playing Elden Ring on your stream, brother?
Yeah, I haven't streamed it, but I'm playing a lot of Elden Ring.
You should stream it because I mean you're not really in parties like that, right? When you stream. You play by yourself mostly, or what?
Yeah, I'm mostly by myself. The only reason why I don't stream is because I'm on my Xbox, and my Xbox is in the living room. I don't have it set up on my computer. But I might. What I'm thinking is I'm definitely gonna play that game again. I'm probably gonna start another new game, and that one I might do on PC. Just messed up a little bit. Sorry. Blah blah blah. Okay. But yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely going to start streaming again once other games start coming out. I want to start streaming again. It's just been a little bit tough with work and this, so I'll get back on it soon.
I'm streaming too many games. I do work as well, but when I do have a little bit of time, I do stream. I'm trying to stream more on the weekends now, but I'm usually on around 11 o'clock Eastern time. Did I say 11? I meant 12 o'clock Eastern time, 12:30. So I get on really, really late, and I am playing Elden Ring, but I'm getting my ass kicked, bro. I'm getting my ass kicked, and nowadays I'm just playing more Rocket League, Risk, For Honor.
You gotta focus on a build. Focus on a build that you want to do, so that you're not getting your ass kicked anymore. So if you want like a strength build, fucking throw all those points into strength. Throw them all into strength.
Right.
And you'll start crushing shit.
Yeah. I think I'm going for the main storyline just too much too. I'm not exploring enough.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's exactly what's going on. I'm just not exploring enough. And when I do see something really big and scary, I run away.
I don't blame you.
Oh shit, that guy is huge. I'm out. Fuck that. I'll go this way.
I don't blame you. I did that for a while at the beginning.
Yeah, I think I'm not over that. I'm still like, I'll see a dragon on a bridge, and I'm like, no, I'm out. You know. But with that being said, man, episode 7 in the books, bro. Where can we catch you on your stream, Denny?
Twitch.tv/Denny_RP.
Nice. And I'm gonna be Falco with a 0, Thy Fear. And you can catch me on Twitch. All right, guys.
Yes. So like, subscribe, please, comment below.
Yeah, even if you're just saying hi, just comment, man. It helps.
We asked for some questions, and we did get some questions. We'll touch on those next episode. Next episode, for sure, we're gonna answer some questions.
Really? How many questions did we get?
Well, we got one from our good friend Hector.
Nice.
And I saw Tina sent from somebody else. I forgot who.
Tina sent one too.
Oh, maybe Tina. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get to those next episode.
All right, we'll start off with those. How about that? We'll start off with the questions done, and we'll repost the post again to get a couple of more questions from, I guess, our audience. Huh? Wow, that sounds good. Audience.
Yes, we want a bigger audience. So subscribe and tell your friends and tell your mom and your grandma and your uncle and your dad and your cousin to subscribe.
Subscribe, baby. Thank you, guys. Peace.